God, I've been dreading this one. Neon Mixtape Tour is known for having some of the most blatantly unfair zombie designs in the game, and it's a total challenge run killer. Will the pacifist run end here? I don't know. But if it does, I won't be weeping because this challenge is driving me crazy. For the first time in a very embarrassing amount of worlds, I actually beat day 1 first try. That really shouldn't be an accomplishment. Day 2 debuts the punk zombie. I've long given up on using nuts, so he's not that bad. My pool of usable plants has shrunken to a tiny scrote of options. Luckily, these guys get hard countered by the sap fling. Also, I've not had music in at least the last 3 worlds or so, but this world seems to be a coin flip whether I have any sound at all each level. Extremely annoying when you have to spend tens of hours in each world. Day 4, and I've realized I have extremely few opportunities left in this challenge to bring out my beloved garlic, so I tried to make it work here. And it did, but it gets totally countered by the punk zombie. I used sweet potatoes to maneuver them around, and I did beat this level first try of this strat, but it was not worth the hassle. Day 5, and it's another one of these obscenely difficult protection levels. Luckily, we only have 2 damaging plants to protect, and they're short range ones at that. Definitely doable, but it'll be finicky. First step is to move the troublemakers to the very back of the stage, which I managed to do in a pretty timely fashion first try. Having to protect these nuts seems like a benefit at first, but they just get knocked back towards the fat beats by the punks. Luckily, Gumnut sorts that issue quite nicely. Lastly, and the most difficult part, I need to stall an entire level's worth of zombies in the very center of the board so that I can move endangered plants to the back with no casualties, either from the fat beats dealing damage or accidental escape route explosions. I was able to gum up everything very quickly, and I got the beats pretty fast to the back, but it was actually the walnut that was the problem here. I didn't know off the top of my head what the trigger radius was for the escape route, so I played it extra safe and waited ages for them to finish the gum, hurricaned them to the back of the room, and quickly moved the nut away. For the first time ever, I really applied myself to this level and beat it first time. That was a really good feeling. Day 6 is a conveyor belt level that shows off the celery stalker. In my massive ranking video, I repeatedly referred to him as the bamboo stalker, which you guys railed me for. And I mean, to my credit, that was a 4-hour long video that took 3 months to make, and that was my only major mistake, other than accidentally deleting the citron part. For the record, I put him around 60th. Day 7 was a blur. I literally have no idea what was happening. It was a laggy, glitchy mess that sunders the eyes. To be totally fair to the game though, I do think this was more likely my tech struggling in this British heatwave. Day 8, and I'm getting really bored of the time warp. I decided to try out the Gumnut strat again, as it's just as strong as the time warp looping, albeit countered by much more zombies. But it does have this extreme downside of forcing you to wait an additional 10 minutes at the end of each level while the zombies chew their way out of gum gel. This really does stack up over the tens and hundreds of levels that you do. Day 9's a pre-selected plant level, and thank fuck, because I could not be asked to deal with this front sunflower setup. It's way too faffy for me. Day 10 is also a brain buster, but day 11 is a third brain buster. I'm not too fussed about this, I am exhausted of this challenge, but we power on regardless. Day 12 introduces the Garg. I've never actually done a normal playthrough of these later worlds, and I feel like this Garg must be a real watershed moment for casual playthroughs. One-shotting plants from across the lane is wildly frustrating, but there's just nothing you can do about time warp spam. I also forgot to mention the rollerblade zombies here now. It's whatever, it's funny looking when you time warp it. Day 13 brings the microphone zombie, who I thought wouldn't be a big deal at all, but he is surprisingly annoying. His spin attack suggests that he'd deal damage in front of him like a circle, but it's honestly more of a pointy triangle that reaches one more tile than you always suspect. Nothing major, but quite annoying. Day 14 is yet another pre-selected plant level, but since we had like 6 of these already, I decided to give this one a go. The time warp is just such an okay plant without the imitator. My biggest takeaway from this challenge so far is that the imitator is probably the strongest plant in the entire game. This level was obviously not doable. Day 15 is another one of them crazy endangered plants level, but this time we have to protect an entire row of these frigs. It wasn't too difficult to move everything to the back, since gumnuts are a perfect way to temporarily store stuff at the front of the lawn. It was moving everything to the back of the lawn which was way more challenging. I decided to do it one lane at a time. I gambled on the fact that the fat beat probably can't kill anything in only 2 squares, and I was correct this time. With one row clear, it was easy to start going through lanes one at a time, moving beats to the back corner of the stage. It was looking perfect until zombies somehow broke through their gum early and got into beat range. I frantically rushed to move the beat to the back, and I cut it extremely close, and luckily we only got away with a couple missing arms. The escape route is undoubtedly one of the MVPs of this challenge, another ridiculous level taken down first try. Day 16 is a conveyor belt level, but I don't mind this one, I earned it. Day 17 is filled with these imps. This guy is not the punk zombie, get out of it. Day 18 brings forth the breakdance zombie, notoriously my least favourite zombie in the game. Someone in chat warned me of this zombie and I scoffed at them. I assumed it would be nothing major, just another gumnut target, but oh my god, this guy is the worst. This zombie did nothing in the nut challenge because pretty much every gimmick zombie is nothing in the face of the exploding nut. But when you group up these zombies with your stalling method of choice, they act like those Hot Wheels spinny booster things and launch zombies all across the stage. Gods, these zombies were annoying. This level took a lot of attempts because of these little shits. Day 19 is yet another conveyor belt, but I didn't mind this one because we got to use the electric blueberry, one of the greatest to ever do it. I fucking love the electric blueberry. Day 20 was very dull, but that's fine because I've got a banger PowerPoint for you today. For this week, I'll be covering the Great Potato Drama, aka outing my girlfriend. I love jacket potatoes, possibly my favorite meal of all time. I've started working out a lot more and I need to eat better, so I've started eating more jacket potatoes. I swear by tuna and cheese, but beans and cheese or chili and cheese are also great. Now what's annoying is my girlfriend hates jacket potatoes, and I never normally eat them because of this. But she started working out with me, so she's caved in and agreed to have jacket potatoes with me. I never understood why she didn't like jacket potatoes. Jacket potatoes are like Subway. If you hate them that much, you're probably just having the wrong toppings. But then I realized, my girlfriend's from the north of England and they just eat backwards up there. So she's probably just having stupid northern toppings on her jacket potatoes. So I asked her, and you would not believe what she told me she ate on her potatoes. Rice, potato salad, and spam. I cannot fathom a worse combination of toppings to have on jacket potatoes. No wonder she didn't like them. Long story short, she had normal toppings on her spuds and she loved it. Let me know in the comments what you have on your jacket potatoes, and if they're remotely as bad as what my girlfriend has, you're getting banned from my channel. Day 21 is a flower line level, and man do I have an unexpected hero for this one. This is a level beaten in 3 parts. Firstly and most simply, we get to the end of the level. An easy task if it wasn't for those meddling breakdancers just boosting zombies straight to the flowers. That was very annoying. Next, we convert all these zombies to a religion of your choice. In my head, it's Jared Leto's weird desert sex religion. Then, all we have to do is clear the gargs. We know that cauliflower can do this, but in an attempt to use as many plants possible in this challenge, I elected for the teleportato mind, bringing the gargs straight in front of the lawnmower, 2 for 1. Awesome feeling. Day 22 and it's just more sludge. I was absolutely dreading this world, knowing that these zombies are some of the hardest to deal with. But like over half this world is brainbusters, it's ridiculous. Day 23 and we have our last zombie of the world, the arcade zombie. Truthfully, I didn't expect much from this zombie, as instant kill zombies just haven't mattered in a long time. In fact, instant kill zombies really do suffer this critical mass issue, where once you fill every world with zombies that instant death touch plants, you just don't even think about it anymore. You just no longer use plants that required getting touched. But the arcade zombie was a nightmare for a much different reason. These arcade machines that they push spawn these really charming little pixel zombies. And whilst we can just time warp away the pixel zombies, we can't actually move the machines. And this means no matter how much we teleport zombies back to the front of the lawn, they continue to spawn zombies at the front of the lawn, throwing off our rhythm. This is actually a huge problem for us, but I did have one crazy idea. Was the Boing Setter's weird destruction gimmick that makes no sense strategically, thematically, or botanically finally a key part of our strategy? I mean, it kind of was last world of the graves, but that was more of a luxury. This time, it was instrumental to our victories here. And thank God, because I just love the design of this plant. Truly, the Boing Setter is one of the best modern design plants. I adore it. Day 24 is a plan your defense. And whilst I know it's not exactly breaking the mold, the Sap Walk of Shame is just so effective here. I always bring the spearmint to these because I think it's just a fun interaction, but most of the time we just don't need the extra sun. But this time it came in really clutch. This level was a nasty free waver and went on for ages. I almost did this one on the first try, but got fricked up nasty by the stupid spinny blokes several times. Day 25 is drastically easier than the last, with only 1 wave. I'll just never understand why the game does this. Day 26, I gave a single attempt because wow, this one is not happening. Protection levels are already the hardest, but we have about 10 seconds here to react. It's just not happening. I do think, however, we can probably beat this one with my super forbidden technique, but you'll have to wait a bit longer to find out about that. Day 27, conveyor belt level. Day 28, and who the fuck is this? I genuinely have no recollection of this zombie whatsoever. I think this might be a contender for the least used zombie in this game. Like, he seriously only appears in like 2 or 3 levels. The Dragon Imp comes to a mind as a zombie used less. It's only 1 level in the Dark Ages, but they use him a fair bit in modern day. Let me know in the comments if you can think of a zombie used less than the Boombox zombie. Day 29, and again, it's just a much slower level with only 2 waves. I could imagine the Boombox zombie would be supremely annoying in a normal playthrough, but it does little to stop time warps. Day 30 should have been a real challenge. This level does not hold back on the zombies. It throws out an insane amount of every single gimmick zombie, including like 4 gargs, and we're only able to defend it with 15 plants. But for some reason, the plant tracker just wasn't working. It stayed at 15 the entire time. I think one of the most fascinating things about the pacifist challenge is that the game is just not built to run this many zombies, and the game keeps breaking in such random ways. Day 31, the last challenge of this world, given plants. How fitting. Well, that didn't suck remotely as hard as I thought it was going to. I really enjoyed the pace of the Dark Ages. I think 20 levels is just a good amount for such a difficult world, and I was dreading 32 of these ones. Remove all the filler, and this world is probably shorter than the Dark Ages. Quick update on the monkey video I've been teasing for a while now. It's ended up being a huge project, and I'm going to leave it till the end of this challenge, which is only 3 more worlds to be fair. I just don't want to rush it because it's coming out really cool. I promise it'll be great. Thank you all very much for watching. Cheers.